What are you looking at? What are you looking at?
What's going on? What's up, guys? Aquí de nuevo con este.
Con aquel.
We're happy to bring you guys another episode. We are now at 183.
Yeah.
183. What are you looking at?
What are you looking at?
What you looking at?
What are you looking at?
This has been actually an interesting question that Pablo posed to me, and I think it's definitely worth some attention. How did this come about?
So, I was actually the other day. Well, this has been something that I've actually as a bailador, like as a dancer, I've actually dealt with this before. Like when you're dancing with your partner, where do you look? Like if she's looking at you, do you look back? Or if she's not looking at you, do you look at her so that she looks at you?
So from a practical sense is what you're saying.
Yes, from like in the moment, like in the trenches dancing. I wouldn't call it in the trenches because not really work.
Bueno, pero sí,
In the ground. And I actually dealt with this like hace tiempo, like months ago, and I completely forgot about it. And I guess I just deal with it now from just like experience dancing. Pero I was in class with my students, and I think we were doing a three-step or a beso, or like something that where you are actually like close to your partner, and they tell me, "Oh, where do I look? Like, what do I do with my eyes? Like, it's a little weird because I'm like super close, and I'm like giving her a kiss, but like I don't really know her, and then like, what do I do with my eyes?" And the answer I had is just like go with the flow, feel it. Like if you want to look at her eyes, look at her eyes. If you don't want to look at her eyes, don't look at her eyes. But I wanted to like kind of break it down a little bit more, see like I guess different situations, what would we do? Because it's something we've never really like sat down and talk about.
I don't think, and that's the reason why I like this is because that's the whole point of this, right? At the end of the day, what these things that aren't really mentioned, that aren't really spoken about,
The subtleties.
that's right, the details, right?
Yes.
And that's definitely what this is all about. And a lot of them, a lot of these ideas have come from you guys, and you're continuing reaching out to us and
Yes.
and discussing your anecdotes, if you would, on the dance floor, which have
Andres
been,
at salsakings.com, Pablo at salsakings.com.
yes, thank you, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, that's definitely a common question. Do you find there to be kind of a common denominator when you're out dancing? Is there? Yes, I would definitely agree that. I mean, I have my answer, which I'll give shortly. You said kind of go with the flow.
I actually want to build on top of that.
Okay.
So that's the answer I gave in class. But looking back, when I'm actually dancing with someone, and I feel like eye contact is one of those things that is a little bit harder because I guess you have the five senses and you connect through your senses. Obviously, that's presence, all of that. I feel like touch is the most easy one because you're already touching each other to dance. It's just like how much attention are you really paying to that? I guess another one is the music, listening. So, are you actually listening to the music?
Make sure you always smell good.
Yes, please.
That's one of that should be a constant.
Yes, that's a constant. Can really do taste, But I guess the other one, the final one, would be like sight, and I think sight is like after you have the touch and the listening, like I think sight is the next one, and it's actually like the deeper connection. Like I feel like when you're looking at each other, it's like actually even deeper connection. And to be fair, that sometimes it's like a little bit overwhelming or like daunting.
It certainly can be. Absolutely.
Yes. 100%.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's the trickiest one.
For sure. There is, in my opinion, right? These types of questions kind of, the word that's coming to my mind is irk. These kind of questions irk me because when you're walking down the street, you don't ask mom or dad, where should I be looking? Like,
right.
When you were a kid, like, or when I'm eating, where should I be looking? Like, it's not any, we're humans. Like, we're just hanging out. I think that the formal everyone is taking this dancing, social dancing thing too formally. The idea is that we're just hanging out together. Like, what if we were to play chess, you and I, right now? Let's
Fair.
go.
Okay, we're playing.
Boom.
Right.
Like, where am are you gonna ask your chess instructor where am I supposed to look? You know, it's where do you want to look? Where is it appropriate to look? Don't my I guess my answer would be, which I haven't given yet. But my answer would be is to don't think about it so much. The one that's making it weird oftentimes is ourselves. We're the ones putting this awkward energy behind it. It's not awkward unless you make it awkward or that you think that there is something that could be awkward about it. Like, I'm a human being, you're a human being, we're physically touching. I'm gonna look to see if I close my bene over your head correctly. I'm gonna make sure that you're comfortable. I'm gonna look around the dance floor to make sure that I'm not leading you into anybody. Are you stepping huge when you step back on your one as a follow? Am I that I'm gonna keep in mind when I'm doing something that you're not stepping on somebody else? I'm gonna keep you close. There's a lot of things like, okay, maybe I like the design on your shoulder. Like, I'm gonna look at that. Like there's so many things that there's still presence being very much involved here. How present are you in this experience? Maybe I am looking at your hair. Maybe it looks really nice because you put extra effort into it. Or the other way around, ladies, there's those really nice cufflinks that he's wearing, and maybe you're looking at those. Don't. I guess there's the same way that okay, if I had a podcast instructor, right?
Oh,
And
podcast
how
instructor, okay.
much do I look at my guest? How much am I looking at the camera? I don't know. I'm just here and I'm just talking as if you were here right now with me right now. Like, I'm not gonna look at you for longer than what would be right. See, now at this point, this is awkward, right?
Right.
Because I'm making it awkward. I'm gonna continue looking where I want to look up until I don't want to look anymore. I think again, and this is kind of what social dance it teaches us in a beautiful way, that you can have confidence just being yourself. That there is not a formal process to everything, especially depending on the person that you're dancing with. So let's say your partner is looking right at you, right? They're looking right at you. They're enjoying looking at you. And you see that they're looking at you with a smile on your face. If you enjoy looking at them as well, well, then don't be afraid to look back. Like, that's what standard, normal human connection is. And it doesn't have to be in a weird romantic way in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Like, you can just, wow, this dance is awesome. And you're kind of like checking in with one another and saying, yo, are you having as much fun as I'm having? And you look at their smile, you see their face. Like, there's so much that can be said. I think there's more muscles in your face than in your entire body. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And with that said, there's so much to be expressed. And of course, your eyes being a big component of that. Right. What do you, does that kind of ring a bell for you at all, or?
It does. I actually wanted to break it down a little, not break it down, but I guess put it in my terms, because what really clicked for me is that I'm very like, lógico, las cosas son así. What is the correct way to do it? When there's no really correct way. I learned that the hard way. But I guess what clicked for me is that you just do what you feel like doing. And that might be a little bit contradictory to what you believe, because you need to do this, you need to go wash the dishes, you need to go study for that test, like whatever, X, Y, or Z. And I feel like dance is that space where you don't need to do anything. You just do what you feel like doing, and when you can like really listen to your feelings 100%, and you can never be wrong.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. Mic drop on that one.
Boom, mic drop.
There was I was actually gonna leave this for another episode. But there was a little line, a little quote that I saw that was beautiful. That, I mean, I related it to dance, of course, but I feel like the dance floor is like life's gym.
Dance floor is life's gym.
So you practice discovering oneself.
Okay.
You're because in the gym you train,
Fair.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
so you're training. What do you train? You're training your physical strength. Okay, so for dance, you're training just in general for life, in the sense of what is the training for life, right? It's self-discovery, self-mastery.
Okay.
How good am I at being me? When the music is different, when my partner is different. What's the common denominator?
When I'm in a different environment.
When I'm in a different place, correct?
Right.
Depending on what I'm smelling, touching, seeing, right? So there's all of this. There's kind of all of these variables, if you would, but there's one common denominator, and it's us, right? So to expound on what you were saying, it's like, and that was my answer, by the way. You took it from me. It's what do you want to see?
Yeah.
Where should I be looking? Well, what do you want to look at?
Right.
What do you want to look at? And for the most part, that's a pretty safe answer. You're not, if you've been blessed with the ability, if you would, to have a shared experience with someone else, the respect should be there.
Yes.
Yes. And I guess I'm gonna assume it's gonna be from male to female or from lead to follow. Is that
right?
Ladies, if you by any stretch feel in the slightest way uncomfortable, well then make sure that you let him know that that's the case. You don't have to finish the dance. You do not have to finish. There is no obligation whatsoever. And especially sometimes there's leads out there that are like constantly, or they're known for injuring like follows and follows still.
For being rough.
For being rough. And
Yeah.
they still feel obligated to say yes or to dance with them. And that's not the case in any way, shape, form, or fashion. As a matter of fact, you're doing him a favor by telling him no.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's episode 9. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Te lo digo ahora mismo.
People power. People power. What we decide as a society, what we decide as a group, as a whole, will ultimately determine what survives. Because there's not industry or economy behind it, it's going to end. Everything needs energy to continue to be fueled. So if this guy who is constantly injuring leads, or he's looking at you in an inappropriate way, Episode 9, people power, yeah. Yeah. And you're, or the group is deciding to no longer entertain this, then either he's going to make changes or he's simply not going to have the privilege of continuing to do so anymore.
Right.
So, ladies, I empower you to I don't want to say stand up for yourself, but not feel obligated to do anything that you don't want to do. As a matter of fact, you are aiding survival of the fittest. Like, you are aiding society here by making your choices unapologetically. So, leads or follows, what are you looking at, right? Look at what you want to look at a rate that's appropriate to look at it. Well, what's appropriate? You're going to find out. And that's why I call the dance floor life's gymnasium, because you're going to receive immediate feedback from those around you.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful thing. Same thing, ladies. If you're throwing yourself all over the place, if you're trying to, not share the experience, but kind of have it be all about you, leads, you don't have to ask her to dance ever. Like, if you didn't enjoy it, right? Like, the idea here at the end of the day is that the connections are being made because it's natural and organic, and we want to dance with one another, and we want to experience one another. Now, the beautiful thing is, and here's where I think this kind of gets beautiful, actually.
Okay.
That it oftentimes takes a bad experience for us to kind of learn something about ourselves. And this is obviously not just the dance floor, right? This is just in life, as we've come across a challenge or a hurdle or a barrier. It's kind of these um, what's the word I'm looking for? The trials, the tribulations, there's another word. Uh, if you say it in the comments, you know the word I'm talking about. Maybe even adversaries. If you're talking about someone,
Challenges.
a challenge or a competing business or something like that, that you're going to learn a lot about yourself. Why does that bother you? Oftentimes, it's a reflection of what we're doing in a way that we're not really noticing.
Right.
So, is that did I stray too far away, or did that plug in? Did that make sense there as far as for what
I feel like
what are we looking at?
I feel like that made sense. Yes, I guess the same thing you're saying, but in my words, it's just like pay attention to your feelings. Um, Again, big change. I know that people don't usually do that, and it may be a lack of presence, but um, especially when you're a guy, if you want to figure out what you need to do, like feel, like pay attention to your feelings. What do you feel like doing, and you'll figure out the best path automatically. And
Oh, but Pablo, that's not telling me the answer. I don't get it. Practice.
yes, you'll figure out the answer by feeling, but that's how you do it.
It's not
100%.
it's not an overnight thing, and that's the reason why this industry is still alive, because this is a lifetime journey, especially when we're talking about any type of art. This is, if you have the courage to stick it out and continue learning about yourself, you're going to drastically improve as you move forward, because questions like this can only be answered practicing
Practicing.
on the dance floor. And what we're telling you is not the tangible. We could tell you something tangible, sure, but that's not our nature. And we've found that we have created over now, actually today, we are recording Monday, March 17th. Today is Salsa Kings' 27th birthday. Yes. Over all this time, over all these years, we've really created genuine, natural, organic social dancers, and that everybody dances like themselves. And it's truly a beautiful thing.
Nobody's the same.
Nobody's the same. But that's because they are dancing as a reflection of who they are. And of course, we know everybody's different.
Yep.
So the same thing, it's okay, maybe you like to look a little bit more into your partner's eyes. Maybe you're a little bit more shy and you don't like to look into your partner's eyes at all. Well, that's just going to be a reflection of who you are. And here's beautiful news, is that some people are going to like the fact that you don't look at them at all. And some people are not going to like the fact that you don't look at them at all. And of course, the reverse is also the case. So don't try and fit in versus continue to work on who you are, as far as for what am I looking at?
What do you want?
What do you want to look at? Right? And then the people that are most aligned with you and your thoughts and feelings and what
Actions
you do, your actions,
right?
those are the ones that are going to get pulled towards you, and you'll be surprised at the beautiful connections that you make simply because you're being yourself.
Effortless.
You know what I mean? It's and you're having fun along the way. And that's the beautiful part. The community at the end of the day is constantly connecting people. The dance floor is constantly connecting people.
Yes.
Don't allow these types of details to slow you down or to make you run away from the interaction. Allow yourself to stumble, allow yourself to fumble, allow somebody to tell you to your face, oh my God, that was so weird. Or the other way around, oh my God, your dance weird. Like, take that as an opportunity to learn that about yourself, whatever it was that was in that dance. That dance doesn't define who you are, just like a specific action doesn't define who we are. It's just another opportunity to get to know oneself. After that being said, if I was to give a tangible answer, again, I would be definitely, at least at first, looking at her, seeing kind of where she's comfortable as I kind of do my two-step and build up to it, right? As we start to revolve, see if she's taking tiny steps or if she's taking big back rock steps. See if she's allowing me to lead her, if she's comfortable with it, because she can immediately put like a what the heck is this, right? With me leading, maybe she's just not used to a lead period. Like at the end of the day, I have to be open to all options, right?
I feel like to get a dance off the ground, a good analogy for that would be like if you want to get an herb. I think something like when you let's not do the airplane, let's do a rocket. I think I heard a statistic like 95% of the rocket's fuel is used to get out of the earth.
Right.
I feel like it's the same for a dance. To start the dance, you definitely need to put more connection, more effort into it. But once you know she can do that and she cannot do that, and she dances like this and she doesn't like dance like that, it's easier to maintain the connection and it doesn't take.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So right. So that type of, I may be using my eyes a little bit more on her in the beginning.
Right.
Right. And not for any other reason than to actually connect. And I guess this goes for everybody. The other person can tell why you're looking, I guess you could say, right? Or what you're looking at and why. As long as your intentions are pure, then you're in good shape. And at the very minimum, you could say, my apologies if there was a miscommunication, and then you can move forward from there. Just keep
This is what I felt like doing.
yeah. And from there, you're in generally you're in safe play. But yeah, unapologetically, guys, go out there, have fun, and look at what you need to look at. Or if I'm continuing the story, I'm paying a lot of attention to her, and then I'm looking very much so at the surroundings. I'm looking very much so. Okay, who's swinging, somebody right next to me? Is my partner in possible danger, or can she get hurt, etc. And I'm seeing a lot of how her feet are moving. I'm looking at hips. I'm seeing if there's rotations. I'm looking at hair. If there's loose hair. Is it sweaty hairspray hair? Again, I'm looking at what is of say particular interest, if you would, but to make sure that the overall dance as a whole is enjoyable. Right. And whatever data that I need to collect from my eyes to be able to ensure a positive experience for the both of us, essentially is the goal. And whatever that is. And oftentimes it is in my partner's eyes. Absolutely. To check in.
Yes.
Right? I'm checking in, I get a smile, or if I don't, well then I'm going to start looking everywhere else to do whatever it is to make whatever adjustments necessary to ensure that positive experience. How's that? Is that all right? How did I do, bro?
Estuvo intenso.
Rico. Guys, again, just make sure you go out there and you're having fun, unapologetically so. And whether it's your eyes, whether it's your eyebrows, whether it's your hair, whether it's that awesome dress, those heels, and it would be the equivalent of asking, what color heels should I wear when I go dancing? What color heels do you want to?
What do you want to wear?
What do you want to wear? And at the end of the day, that's just a reflection of who you are.
Yes.
So I challenge you, go ahead and discover what that is. If it's not liked, you will be passively or possibly aggressively known. It will eventually be discovered, and you'll take that as a grain of salt, and you decide maybe you like the attention, etc. But allow those to be decisions that you make on your own. I trust that you will not be staring into someone's pupils the entire time, and even if you did, that wouldn't last very long because people wouldn't be dancing with you forever. So I guess ultimately my point is that if there is something that is inappropriate, you'll
pick up on it.
You will pick up on it, even if you are the most socially awkward, and that's what makes this experience so amazing. Is because since there's that connection is, if you wouldn't, not forced, but it's invited. Those that are more socially awkward, if you would, you have the opportunity to get that feedback, and I think that's the practice exactly, and I think that's what kind of makes it so awesome, especially for those that don't have as many opportunities to practice. People stay less confident or more socially awkward simply because they don't have the opportunities to engage. Yes. So, tira de tu pasito, do the thing, have some fun, and if any of this you disagree with, go ahead and shout us out, Pablo at
Or if you have any
salsakings.com.
questions.
Or any questions, of course, Andres at salsakings.com. We love you guys so much. Go ahead and check out our merch, mydanceshirts.com. You have generic dance styles on there. If you like kizomba, if you like tango, if you like tap, all of it's on there, as well as specific Salsa Kings collection as well. All the stuff throughout the years from 27 years ago, which is the OG white shirt. I think it's called the classic tee. I think we have it on there as the classic. You have the throwback, and then you have the current one. But a lot of fun, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Be good, guys. Bye-bye.